you can see here that this is the closer camera. The distant camera, you can see how it has parallax. But anyway, part of my point here is that we actually have a visual of the water beyond this land right here. We can actually see this is like a looming, right? It's lifting up the distant water. So this is mine here. Here I overlay the clear image with the Mirage image. Here's the Mirage image.
Okay, but still there are all his images you just picked out.
Correct.
An image
yeah.
from the other place in his.
Yes, sir. Yes, that's right. And what I'm trying to establish here, Rod, is we have a clear understanding now of where the land actually stops.
Yep.
So that when we get into the other event and we see land below that, we need to understand that that's an inferior image.
Right.
Now here is this is him again. Here's his right camera. His left camera is 60 meters farther, but this is the exact same time and space, right? So you have a little, even have a little bit of parallax here with this, with the stern of the boat. Now, I think this is my comparison here. Take note that the ferry is fully in view in both frames. Okay, we have a crisp image of the ferry boat here, but it's compressed. And we have a watery image of the ferry boat here. It's compressed. But you can clearly see between this land and the ferry boat, there's water. But you can't see that here. I find that very, very interesting. So it's almost like this is looming here to the right, right? Because if he's at the same elevation, both of these boats should be, even though the one is 60 meters farther away. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I could be wrong. I suppose parallax would have to be an issue of that. So I'll retract that statement. Both shoreline positions. This shoreline is beyond the boat ship. Here's the shoreline proximate. Now, here comes the shorelines, right? Where are the shorelines? Like you would think that the shoreline's down here because you don't see water. You know, the water, here's the water, here's the water, the water stops right here. Well, then of course this is going to be the shoreline. No, the shoreline is up here. This here is inferior Mirage.
I'm not understanding the white layer, white strip across there. Is that
right? This little thin one right here.
Sky.
this
thin. No, it's down in the middle, that narrow band across there.
Yeah. You know what? I think it could possibly. This looks like it's an overcast day, so that could just simply be the light from the clouds. So then you've got these breaks, though, right? I would be interested in the physics behind what makes these breaks. Are these you know, right?
I don't understand it. It looks like that's Mirage to me, because that may be a mirage of the sky itself.
Yeah. So now right here, if you can see where I'm pointing out right here, this is the ferry boat lane here. And then so you've got the land right here. This is the shoreline in the distance. You've got a break, and then you've got the Mirage down here.
Yep.
Because if you go all the way across where the water apparently is limited, you come across over here, you're like, oh, here's the shoreline. No, the shoreline is up here. This, let me, I guess the, you know, the the beauty of the Fata Morgana. Take your time if you need to.
My wife and I both have this coughing fits.
Okay.
Last week or so.
It seems that the Fata Morgana does an almost like a surreal.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. It's almost like the Fata Morgana.
Okay.
It's almost like the Fata Morgana does this artistic, surreal depiction, right?
I'm gonna get a drink of water.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Take your time, Rod.
Yep. Okay. Maybe I'm back.
All right. So now what I did was I overlaid the lack of mirage.
Yes. Okay. Talking to my wife right now.
That's okay.
Yep. That makes it clear. So you do have good comparisons by taking a picture on which there's almost no refraction phenomena showing. So you can have that as a reference.
So, but you can clearly see over here to the right. You can clearly see over here to the right the water that is covered by the Mirage. Here's the Mirage.
Yep.
And if you go over here, you can see that there's actually water there, so that you know that that's not land.
Right.
This is a little bit more complex of breaking it down, but I'm just trying to break down the different distances and miraging. Now, I mean, this is the way. So to me, I feel more comfortable describing what we're seeing as looking through vertical lenses that the air is creating, rather than looking over gradients. That's just my position at the time. I just don't think we're looking through gradients. I'm not denying that there are temperature gradients. That's not what I'm denying. I'm denying that optically we're looking through vertical lenses.
Yeah, well, those lenses, well, that's what a lens is a medium which has an index of refraction. So, I mean, you're actually the views are the same as far as I can see. The temperature gradient does change the index of refraction, whereas an ordinary lens is usually made of material that has just one index of refraction. So this is a kind of a more complicated lens, which has changes of index of refraction within the lens.
Right. So this is the early part of the video where the inferior mirage over here, the Fata Morgana, isn't as developed as it is later on, because it's a very acute angle of the refraction. And then when we get out here to the ferry boat, we've got these white wisps here that should be indicators to us that there's a refraction event going on, because when the ferry boat comes out into view a little bit more, it looks as though the hull is much more let's see how I would say this, has more height to it. but I would argue that it's you have to cut that image in half. So here again, we've got these white wisps. I would say that between these two wisps is where the entire ferry boat is. It's compressed right here. You've got the bow right here with this white part of the gunnel, and then you've got this apparent hull, and then right here is a subtle indication that this is being mirage below. So then up here is where you've got the distinction between the erect image and the optical image. But to the untrained eye, they would think that they were looking at a very large hull. And so now I'm showing here is where the ship is this is the ship's lane up here. But we're actually seeing an image of it lower. I didn't think about this earlier. I don't even know if I actually did this in the video, but I'm going to make this distinction now. So here we see the ship all the way down, and then this is where the water apparently ends for us here. But later on in the video, the limit to the water is actually lower. So we have two different apparent, positions of the water. And obviously, to me, that's showing us that up here is where the ship is physically on the water, and that whatever's below it is the inferior mirage. And now here, the boat's going farther away from us. So now the inferior mirage is being more pronounced. You can even see that the gunnel, even though this is going farther away from us, the gunnel is actually being magnified. Because if I go back here, you see how thin it is? And then, yeah, and then you see how deep the hull is? Well, when it goes farther away from us, the hull disappears and the gunnel is apparently larger than it was before, but it's going farther away. Obviously, there's refraction happening here.
Right.
So my question here is, right, at what point does this become a superior mirage? If what we're looking at right here is all inferior, at what point is it going to be a superior mirage? I don't think it can be scientifically justified.
No. Well, I read other things about it that said, sometimes the mirage could be above and sometimes below, sometimes inverted and sometimes, but it didn't really explain how that could be. I'd like to see it in terms of actually wave paths or light paths.
Yeah, so here is now it's my turn to clear my throat. Here is now where
it really can't be catching between here and here.
Who knows?
Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah. What we have right here is an overlay again. This yellow line is from a previous image where this is showing us here is where the limit to the land is. It's up here. So this is all mirage. Yeah. Now this dark blue image here is the hull of the ship, but as in a mirage. The entire ferry is right here. It's this dark blue line is the entire hull compressed.
Right.
So again, this is what you saw earlier, Rod, with the smaller boats, the smaller watercraft. So the smaller watercraft down here was larger, which is what we see here. The magnification of the ferry's hull is down here, while the target is up here. So when you described the image of the superior mirage, I'm saying that they have been misinterpreting the larger image at the bottom as the erect physical image. They've been looking at it backwards, and they've made a classification. They've made a science. They've made mathematical expressions for something that they have misinterpreted. So now here we go. Look at that. Is this how tall the fairy is? No, it's not. So now here's the boats, right? This boat right here is inverted on itself. This is just a basic inferior mirage. But as the event develops, the event is going to come down lower and lower and lower, which then gives this an opportunity to express itself through those ducts. And there are numerous ones throughout. Compression, stretching, stooping. I mean, this is just a dynamic event. I think we're coming up to the timestamp that you were talking about before. I think what did you say? 8 minutes 30?
8:30 was where I was interested.
All right, here it is.
I think if you're corresponding with this fellow, if he'd be willing to share that, I would post it up and credit him.
Okay, so let's see. I'm going to stop it. This is 8:29. Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think so. This is where we're seeing the two boats and
so let's
two images.
Yeah. Okay. So again, this is at 8 minutes and 9 seconds. So then we're just talking about a 20-minute or a 20-second difference. Over here, it seems like it's developed a little bit more. All right, so this is the this is what would you like to discuss here, maybe?
Well, there, of course, it looks like the real image is compressed, squashed by the refractive effects, and the Mirage image is towering by the refractive effects.
Yeah.
So you got a distorted real image above, and then of course the Mirage. I guess you could say that's all. The whole thing is a distortion.
Right. So what's interesting though here, Rod, is that you have a dynamic live footage of the wake in the Mirage itself. You have the hologram. Can we call it a hologram?
No, that's not a proper term.
Okay, well,
it's the image.
Yeah, but the reality is up here. So this is the boat, but down here it seems so. Now, let's
the fact of being able to show that as it moves across is just amazing. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah. So here's where I break down numerous inversions. So
that's the point where I was hoping to start.
Oh, okay.
That's about 8:30.
Okay, I apologize.
Yeah.
So this is 8 minutes 34 seconds.
Okay.
So up here we have the erect image that's you can't even see it unless you're paying attention to what's going on. You wouldn't know what this was. But then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe.
Yeah.
5 things going on right there.
I'm just trying to get my mind about what kind of air temperature contours give that kind of thing.
I think I'm playing through the footage now here.
Yeah, that's the part I was interested in.
So right here, this boat. So I would say you've got stooping here.
Yep, stooping and powering.
Okay.
Stooping of the real object.
Yeah.
By refraction, and
then
powering of the Mirage.
But then right here you can see an inferior Mirage because the gunnel is down here.
Yep.
And you've got the wake. You can see the whitewash of the wake.
Yep. Yeah, it's just amazing. I would be delighted to be able to post that up because I've never seen anything like it. I don't think other people have either.
So now we've got a smaller craft coming now. You can see the massive whitewash.
Yep.
We got the bread and butter here. Bread and butter. I love this rod. This is to me, this is I could spend the rest of my life filming these things. This is almost like, you know, the Aurora Borealis for me, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my footage, right? So now we've got this point. This is Carpenter's Point, and it's probably about 3.5 miles away. Now, if we start over here to the left, and you see the brown, it appears as though that's the land. So I'm just trying to apply the same discussion that we had before with Heath's footage with mine. The shoreline is actually up here, compressed, stooping. This is an inferior mirage. We see where the water is limited. And so we might think that this is where the shoreline is. And so then we would call this this would be a superior mirage categorically. But I'm just challenging that. Now, what's happening, because this is a Fata Morgana, you're going to watch this. Okay, these dark striated images are going to get washed away. The temperature inversion or whatever is happening right now is going to blow in from right to left, and we're going to see in a moment nothing but blue. You can see it blowing away here. So now I'm doing an overlay of a pristine shot down to the shoreline. The shoreline is clearly up here. This shot I just got last weekend. It's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
Well, I love that with the fall colors. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So now we see here, it's the shoreline's completely washed away, or the mirage, that is.
Yeah.
Now, this was back in March of 2021, and within minutes, the mirage comes back. You know, but in this image, it's not. I'm not showing that full. I wanted to keep the video as easily digestible as possible. What I find interesting here, Rod, let me see if I get past this picture again. Okay. Now, what I find interesting here is the proximate water here is clear, and then right at this point we get distortion, and then it's just washed out. We have no ripples here, you know, no ripples. So to me, this is the way I would describe it: that the angle here for this water, that is a lens. The angle here for this water, that's a lens. This is a lens. This is a lens. Yep. This is a lens. This is a lens. How does that strike you?
Yeah, that makes sense. You just got a long lens, a long medium that's acting as a lens.
But I'm trying to describe that there's probably 5 to 7 different lenses that we're looking through. Yeah. Does that seem incredible?
Yeah, it's you know, trying to visualize the temperature contours that would do it, but
because you can see a seafowl, a waterfowl out here just dancing, you know. And there's another one right here. This one just came down right there. Oh wow, that one, I don't know if I'm going to be able to slow that down. That one took like a That was pretty interesting. Let me see if I can go back to that. Watching this, I think it's this seagull right here. Oh, no, that, oh, shoot. Let me go back. Okay, here it comes. So it's pretty hard to see. It's right here, and it seems like it comes down and goes wonk, like it hits the lens in the air. Watch, I'm going to go frame by frame by frame. Here, I'm going to put my mouse. It's right here. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what it does. You see it right there? It got bigger.
Yeah.
It got bigger, and then it goes over here, and then it got yeah. So I'm going to go back one more time. We'll watch it in real time. Maybe I'll slow it down. Keep your eye just right there. It looked like right in this spot right here, it hit a lens and it just warped. Beautiful stuff.
You got a displacement, a sudden displacement.
Oh, there was another one in the same place. That's what it was right here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so you had a quick displacement of the image, which
right.
The lens changed rather than the bird.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so here comes the event now. So now you can see the shoreline growing. So clearly I'm showing that the magnification or the displacement of the image below is actually where physical water would be. I'm trying to make that point pretty clear. Right?
All right.
Because right here, you can clearly see the shoreline ends and the water is here. But when you look over here, there's an image of the shoreline. And then the water's limit is down here. The water's limit, if I carry it over, the limit of the water is down here. But we can clearly see that there's water there. All right, well, this goes back to, if you remember, the oil platform.
Yeah.
This is the same event. It's a Fata Morgana. And so I think the oil platform has the same opportunity for discussion. What are you thinking about? What's going through your copious gray matter?
Yeah. Well, that was very interesting. With the oil platforms where you ran the video and you saw images of the clouds as well, and so you could clearly see the changes as you swept across.
Is there anything else that comes to mind? Do you want to try to flesh something else out, or you want to call it a day on our discussion?
Yeah, that's what I'm still. I'll read a little more about the Fata Morgana, but I just appreciate that seeing the two boat thing. That's just absolutely amazing. That you can track the two boats passing each other, and you got the two images of them. That's clear. I mean that's real data. That's real study of nature. Undeniably, you've got the data right there. She's showing it.
Now there is an article I'm sure you probably would have access to it. Andrew Thomas Young sent it to me as an attachment, but he wrote an article with a gentleman named Eric Frappa, and it was about I think it was an observation of the Fata Morgana on Lake Geneva. I can send that to you unless you think you could have easy access. I don't think that it's publicly accessible. I think you have to have certain access. But I guess what I'm saying is I think you probably would have that. But I can link that to you if you want me to.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know if I can copy that and just paste it in the chat here. Let me try to do that. Copy. And then how do I get, I'm going to stop sharing. So there's that. Okay. So now I'm going to put this in the chat and see if that link works. I don't know. Yeah, it's not letting me paste it. All right. I'll try to send it to you as an attachment in an email. I'm not able to do it here on the chat.
Yep.
But in my opinion, you'll see the same thing we talked about. You're going to see a massive degree of the Mirage, and Andrew Thomas Young is going to interpret the limit to the water that he sees as the shoreline. So then it has to be a superior Mirage. And I'm just saying, I think that we can demonstrate clearly that that's not what's happening. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes.
Yep. Well, if you think there's any possibility that God would let me have that little segment up of that, I would post it up.
All right. I'll get in contact with him, and I don't think you'll have a problem with that. So then I can send that over to you. All right.
Right.
All right, Rod. Well, let's keep in touch, and if you find anything out that's interesting, please email me a link, an article, or something like that you think is helpful to the discussion. I'd love to look at it.
So where are you driving these days?
This week was bad. I had 3 o'clock mornings, 2 o'clock mornings. I had little sleep all week, but I was pretty much up in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep. This week was not a good week for me. I don't sleep well as it is in the truck, so when I also then don't have as much time to sleep, then that just compounds it. So I'm just walking like a zombie right now.
Uh-huh.
So,
yep.
All righty, sir. You have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well.
All right.
I think we can get my wife to church in the morning. She was out last week, but she's had this coughing thing for 2 weeks, and
yeah,
she's getting better, and I'm getting worse.
Yeah.
I think I caught it from her.
Sure. No more kisses, Rod. No more kisses. All right. I'll talk to you later then.
All right.
Thanks. All right. Bye. All right, everybody. Anybody out there want to join the see the world orthographically all the time? Yeah. Anybody want to jump in here and have a discussion? I'll put this in the chat and see if anybody responds. If not, I'm gonna sign off in a minute. That was good. There's some good content in there. Got some interesting acknowledgments from Dr. Nave. He gave me some. What? How can I say this? I made some suggestions, and he didn't oppose those suggestions. So that's a good thing. Just gonna wait a couple minutes. If there's anybody out there, Gleam, Heath, if you're still there, jump in and let's have a quick discussion, maybe. Anyway, Heath, he wants to put that video up on Georgia State University's hyperphysics. So that'll be good, man. Absolutely fantastic. Unless, of course, he gets trolled by Sean Hawkins again. Ay, ay, ay. What is that? Hide that. Okay, I don't see any action from you guys jumping in here for a discussion, so I'm going to take that as a no, a hard no. And yeah, let's talk on Skype there, Heath. All right, thank you so much, everybody, for participating in this exciting episode of The Plain Truth. I have been your host. Please share, like, and share this episode out there. I've been your host, Travis Finley. Until next time.